And Opeyemi, I trust you are doing good.
Well, I'm doing well, and it's good to see you again. I mean, you're always looking good. I don't know how you do it with the stress of Lagos, work, moving around. I mean, you always come up relaxed, and I mean, it's grace. I'm tapping into such grace as well.
Yes, it's
so
grace.
It's my pleasure to have you join us today, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi. And well, by the way, he's the head of political desk of Guardian newspaper. He's the chief editor, and he joins us every Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Situation. So let's get straight up into it. I remember when we were doing the build up to the general elections in 2023, the one we had, and one of the things we talked about was the need to urgently fix our security architecture.
Yes.
And I remember again, even before now, the issue of letting go of the former service chiefs under the former president Muhammadu Buhari, the fact that some of them overstayed their time in service, overstayed even their time as service chiefs, and the president did not remove them despite the obvious result that they couldn't live up to expectations. They couldn't end banditry, they couldn't fight insurgents. After so much issues, he eventually let them go and immediately rewarded them with ambassadorial appointments. Now the service chief came on board, finished the tenure of the former president. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came through, let go of all of them, brought in new service chief. Going forward, how important is this decision that the new president just made in terms of bringing up the service chiefs? And I mean, I made a post which you commented about the balance within the appointment, the spread of the appointment, and again with the fact that about 3 of those service chiefs are from the same cost 39, means the issue of somebody is superior and all of that will not. How important was that particular decision going forward?
Well, I think if we were to start talking the security as the man did it, I think to me it's too early and being careful in commending the government for any reason. Not because I'm too pessimistic about what they are going to achieve at the end of the day. Yoruba proverb will say that tí ọmọdé bá ṣubú awowájú, tí àgbà bá wo tó bá ṣubú awo. If a child falls, I think the child looks and is ahead of what happens ahead. But if an elderly person falls down, he looks at the back. So what I'm saying is that I think be as good as what Buhari, President Tinubu might have done in the area of security, yet I'm still very being pessimistic, and I think I didn't want to just quickly share up with it, because the way there's as many Nigerians will say, there seems to be a glimmer of hope, right? But I think we still just have to wait and see how those things will materialize. But talking of bringing in these new services is normal for any chief executive, commander-in-chief of armed forces. Whenever you get to office, and it's to change at least the personnel in charge of each of the military, whatever we have, is a normal thing. But what we are looking at in this one is that to give a desired result. I think for me, I have no reason but to commend President Tinubu for what he did. First and foremost, to consider ethnic, balancing. Whether we like it or we have 6 geographical zones, political zones in the country, and if we're picking one from each of these political zones, that's very good. Then secondly is that the kind of caliber of people he's bringing, and is very strategic. And I want to discuss this matter here. Who are the people that can give me results? Adeyemi did it. Maybe the issue of internal enemies we have within our entity might have been forgotten. In the 1990-91, we had serious issues of Maitasini in Katsina and Katsina Sokoto Zamfara axis, and the previous governments at that time, it changed some of the military officers, commanders in Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto axis. So he brought in people, I think from North Central, from Benue, from Plateau, from East, at least to the battalion around that area. What I'm saying is that while those people, they understand that the same ethnic group, the same religion, that maybe they will not have that sentiment, theirs to do what the commander in chief asked them to do. So when they brought them to Katsina, I might Sassini religious group we taught this country with this Boko Haram had to do with religion. They are Muslims. We might say, well, they made their sect of the way they interpret Quran is not the way a normal Muslim should interpret it. But first and foremost, they are Muslims. Whether they are fanatics, whether they have been indoctrinated, they are first and foremost, they believe in only Quran and they are Muslims. Now, bringing Muslims soldiers. But now, I'm saying this, and be practical with it. The Chief of Defence Staff, General Musa, is from Southern Kaduna. Is Christopher. He was indeed born in Sokoto, but he suffered and foremost somebody from Southern Kaduna. I'm yet to see how he's going to see those vagabonds as his brothers. I don't know. He's a Christian. No matter, forget, we are being practical with ourselves here. I don't see how we see those people as brothers. Listen, Nigerian government have been fighting this matter for too long, and there are a lot of saboteurs even among the soldiers, which we know. Before they finished meeting on strategy, before they left the boardroom,
the strategy is out.
Out to those guys who are so some people are sympathetic to their causes. And when some people are sympathetic within the Nigerian army, then what do you not expect to happen? Even Jonathan as the president said that they've infiltrated even to the federal executive council, to the ministers, to some of the ministers, the Boko Haram. So what we are saying is that some people are sympathetic, not only sympathetic, they are using this as a big business and they want to continue in that business. So I don't see how a now Chief of Defence Staff from Southern Fulani, Southern Kaduna, that have been marginalized ever since, you understand, we want to, I think, start treating this matter with kid gloves. I don't see that. Then the IGP is a fine police officer. Some of us knew when he was commissioner of police in Lagos here, when he started RRS here in Lagos, and the same security architecture he laid down in 1999 or 2000. Lagos, I think whether we forget something anybody will say, in Nigeria, Lagos is still ranked among the safest states in the country, whereas Lagos has a population of about 25 million. This is a state that you have almost ethnic groups in Nigeria represented. If not every citizen of Africa represented, yet it's safest than some states that you have less than 3 million, 5 million. So what happened? Some people worked for it, and this IGP we have now is one of those people we can include reference to that who put down the architecture of Lagos that is still working. So we expect him also what he did in Lagos that time that we are still using, that so many other states many states copied, and let him also use it
at the national level.
And if I have to quickly say this, the major problem we have in the last government was that I think there were no metrics for evaluation to the performance. Yes, let's say we have fine gentlemen now, but is the president ready to give them, I think, a target objective in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, what are they going to achieve? So they must set a target for them. Maybe at the medium term, immediately, what must achieve immediately, what they must have in the medium term and long term. They must have a target. And they must be communicated to Nigerians that in the next 6 months, we want to, for instance, we want to identify the major sponsors, the backers of these terrorists, the bandits. Then within that 6 months, we want to block how they receive funds, how they receive ammunition, how they receive information, and how they receive food, how they receive equipment, how they receive treatment. We want to block
even training.
We want to block it. Do you understand? If you're telling us in this 6 months, we want to do that. Good. We want to measure you after 6 months. Then in the next 1 year, we want to start tackling them Do you understand? IGP said want to devour them like lions. So the next 1 year, we want to see them devoured. Let them communicate their agenda. Let them communicate the plan they have to fight this matter. Not only the people in security, all the ministers and people who are appointed. Let there be a target. You know what? I think we all know Buhari ruled. Buhari was just in national work like ruling an emir. They start enjoying himself. The people will come and brief him. Have you ever seen the guy went out to go and inspect, I think, any project, even to go and pay on scheduled visits to any site where they are working? So whatever you have come to go and tell him, the man will believe. You understand? And that's why so many of them misbehaved. But these service chiefs must be given target. They must. What are you going to do now? Right, in the next 6 months, next 1 year, 1.5 years, let them be committed. Whether the next number of days or years, we will not hear anything about Boko Haram or bandits again. 1, 2, and the government must be ready to provide the facility needed. Yes, we have Tukano, but how many times have that Tukano went out at least to go and deal with these boys in Zambia? How many times? I knew what Nigeria went through to have this Tukano. The Jonathan government was blocked by chieftains of APC from getting it to Kano. They got it now. They have easy access to equipment, to technology to fight them. But how much of this technology have they been deployed to fight them? Now, yes, we say that we are fighting unconventional battle. Even no matter unconventional battle, there are also unconventional ways of fighting unconventional battles. You have to go out for it. We have got over it. But we all know, as I said, this has become a big business, and some people are hitting from this business. But if Tinubu is not careful, the business will continue. But the service chiefs must keep to their toes, so Nigerians the agenda, and they must ready to work within that target.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adeyemi. I think I love how the conversation really opened up, because like everyone knows, the principal responsibility of any government at every level, whether at the local government level, state level, federal level, is the protection of lives and properties of the citizens. And the moment you failed, even if you build the finest infrastructures, even if you fix the best medical services, even if you have the best education system, the moment the people don't feel secure, businesses cannot grow. So now my next question is this: you talked about setting target for these people, the new service chiefs. You also talked about the government providing welfare for them and enabling environment for them to operate. But let's talk about manpower themselves. I'm talking about, it's one thing to have a service chief that is ready to be committed, and you also talked about the fact that there are sympathizers towards the cause of the insurgent within the military, within even the high-ranking members of the military. How well do you think the president needs to do in terms of picking up the morale of these people to see a patriotic Nigeria first, ahead of your religious affiliation or sentiment? Sorry, please. By the way, this program is being streamed live, so you can go on our social media platforms at facebook.com/mainland98.3 FM, on YouTube mainland 983 FM. You can search us out, watch us live, and drop your comment. Please go on.
The Nigerians will say, in Yoruba proverb, will say that the fish gets rotten from the head. Right. What I mean by that is that the head certainly know the preferences and biases of his people. Some people that if I post him or her to this particular zone,
it won't give me results.
It won't give me results. Why posting it? Right. There's no human being that is value free. I think let's be realistic with ourselves. Do you understand? It's like you want to fight some Christian, let's say, fanatics. Do you understand? Living around redemption camp. I'm just saying, so just sorry for this. Just say you have some Christian fanatics around redemption camp in Bafo, Mawe axis. Do you understand? And you are putting a lot of soldiers of Christians, not a Christian of Orthodox, whatever, of Pentecostal background, to go and quell at least a riot being perpetrated around redemption camp by those suspected to be members of a Pentecostal fellowship of Nigeria. You've got the result. You're going to fail. But if sorry for using it. If you say around that, we have a matter of fire around that this, right? You have a redemption camp around this, but you knew that this thing being done by some group of Christians giving you a problem. Post some Muslims, do you understand? Post them to that zone, and that don't reverse. Do you understand? Post some Hausa Muslim to that zone to quell the riot. If the last 2 weeks, that will be any sentiment for them. They will go and do the job. That's Nigeria. We find ourselves. It's unfortunate, but that's Nigeria. We find ourselves. Because if all the available facts and information, and people are saying that most of the soldiers being sent to this area are treating these bandits with kid gloves because they are brothers in Islam. That was allegation, might not be right, but with the way they've treated them, the way they've longed, just we may not be able to be so convenient to doubt those allegations. Let's try something else. Just let Musa, the chief of general defense staff, which is a Christian, a Christopher, let him try something else. Let him try something else. I told you what happened in Katsina. So the commander in chief of armed forces, we must say the strategy. We cannot continue to use this strategy the same. We approach a problem with same set of solutions,
and we expect a different result.
It's not possible. Why we use the same strategy for 8 years and we saw the result? Let that be another strategy. You understand? There must be. Let's change it. So let the chief of defense staff now, let them change it. The Badu had one thing going for him. Everybody believe that is credible. It's not someone that will vote certain amounts to defense. Do you understand? And they will pocket just as EFCC chairman. I think he brought international attention, support for him because they saw him very transparent. If he still the same Ribadu, we all know, right? If it's the same Ribadu now that is in that place now to lead and to give right advice to the president, certainly there could be changes, and we expect changes to be. But strategy must be changed. The federal government must take this matter, employ technology, the equipment, politics, and psychology. Right? The politics must be right. Let people who are using them know that things have changed. That's what I'm saying. And as I said, some people know who sponsor these people, and these people get money at least to buy sophisticated equipment. There was a time, there was allegation sometimes that when people saw them dropping food or ammunition by one helicopter, if helicopter could fly within Nigerian space
and it was not tracked,
do you understand what are we talking about? If some people are bringing food for them, some people are bringing equipment for them.
I mean, the wounded ones are being treated.
The wounded ones. I'm talking shooting somebody with AK-47 escaped and being treated. Do you understand? So you see that it's not. It has become a very big cartel, at least to swindle Nigeria of hard resources. So the people there now, and it's about intelligence. So the intelligence gathering must be strong enough to identify the sponsors and they cut the supply of the major things they use to fight Nigeria. But without doing that, I think I'm afraid. But these people should not see the office, do you understand, as their birthright. They should not see the place as maybe it's their turn to be there. But they must have target, they must have agenda, they must have target objective, and they must work that target within the time frame.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, in case you're just tuning in and you're wondering what you're listening to on radio, this is the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM. I was just looking at the state of the nation today, and we're focusing on the appointment of the service chiefs and, of course, the Inspector General of Police by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu before departing for France to attend the Economic Summit. Well, I have Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi live with me in the studio. Is the head of political desk for Guardian newspaper, the chief editor. I would look at some of these issues together. Now, let's move away from the issue of the service chiefs a little bit. On the 12th of June, the Democracy Day, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave his speech, one of the things that really caught my attention was his request for Nigerians to make sacrifices. And there's no gainsaying the fact that Nigerians are really making sacrifices, because it's difficult to explain that in the midst of plenty, you are still starving. In the midst of the river, you are still thirsty. In the midst of surplus, you are still in want. I mean, look at the potentials that we have in this country, and we literally live at the mercies of policies that are sometimes anti-people. Now, if the president rather says that we should make, sacrifices, how much sacrifices can Nigerians make? We buy petrol for 500 naira. The cost of electricity is going up very soon. You probably will be buying maybe 100 units for 1,000 naira now, or maybe like 10 units for 1,000 naira now by next month, according to the report. I mean, cost of transportation had gone almost triple the normal price. Cost of commodities in the market are becoming almost unaffordable. If the president says we should make sacrifices, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, and you see the luxury that the public servants, the leaders, the public office holders are living on, how much sacrifices do you think Nigerians can give to make this country good?
Well, I think we find ourselves in a very, let's say, precarious situation in this country, because by the time the new president came and removed the subsidy from petroleum, we will remove subsidy from everything. It's not because with information we are gathering, the NEPA, the sub for electricity, I think might be increased for 40% at a go. So we increased electricity for about 40%. So what are we talking about? But the truth again is that if the president, as they have been saying, his predecessors, that Nigerians should make sacrifice. Yes, that's what we have been doing. I think Babangida told us to tighten our belt. I think we have been tightening that belt. Abacha told us the same thing. We tightened the belt.
We almost choked us.
Yeah, we almost choked people. I think, but after tightening our belt, I think we saw how Abacha, practically looted the country. And we are tightening our belt. They are coming with protruding stomachs. But the truth is that now, the sacrifice for Nigerians is with the hope of getting things right. Tinubu started where devil angels are fear to tread, on these subsidies, on forex, on most of these issues, and which makes life a bit uncomfortable for Nigerians. As we said, I think a journey from go to most places that sadly you see traffic as it used to be. If there was no breakdown for a vehicle on the road, but I think because lesser vehicles now come on the road, people are now joining transport or do Zoom meeting or just try to use technology to get some things done. But be as it may, Nigerians, a government cannot continue to ask Nigerians to tighten their belt to make sacrifice without saying that in them and cost of governance. If the problem we have been having in this country is that we never had leaders that I think they are direct by giving examples of on their own on the way they live their own life. If you want to, so there must be leadership by example. If you want us to tighten belt, let's see you also tightening your belt. If you want us to sacrifice, let's see you sacrificing. If you want us to go fasting 2 days a day, you should not be the one that eating 4 times a day and still eating shawarma and chicken within or between those meals. But if you ask us to eat twice a day, yes, we wanted to eat twice a day. If you want to, that's we call it 101. Yes, Nigeria wanted to do that for a purpose, but you
should not be doing 111.
No, not only 111. You should not be the one doing 111 and still eating shawarma and the barbecue chicken within those meals. No, it will not work. I think Nigerians should protest that one if that happens. And what we expected the president to do now is that let there see a semblance of that sacrifice in the course of governance. The era a president is going with a month or about 100 vehicles following, doing what? I don't know. Is it not public funds they are using to fuel those cars? It's not public fund they are using to buy those cars. And all those people paying they without a portfolio. Well, if you follow president from Lagos to Ekpe, they will come back and start filing claims that they've traveled out of the base. Do you understand? So the cost of governance must be reduced. The Nigerians must see him rolling up his sleeves and champion, I think, that sacrifice. Unless I think he's an hypocrite and Nigeria will ask him questions. Before Buhari left, the indices came out in all the faces of our human endeavor. He did not score, I think, 40% or 50% anywhere. Even not only by Nigerians, by National Bureau of Statistics. The indices of education, on health, on economy, on inflation, on GDP, I don't know which one favored Buhari. So he should know that all those things will come by the time before he finishes government. And there's no anybody who defend. So if you ask, so not yet, if I was to sacrifice, it should lead in that. I think in that endurance exercise.
Okay, so it's about leadership by
yes, you must.
Now, talking about cutting down the cost of governance, I remember a couple of weeks back, I stumbled on the the Orosanye reports, and one of the things he said is, collapsing. There were recommendations that about 109 MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies are recommended to be, collapsed into 2 or 3, some that are not. How much do you think we need to be intentional about if we say cutting down the cost of governance? I mean, it's probably not even just on the convoys of the leaders alone. Of course, we see the luxurious life they live in. I've been privileged to visit a few state houses in Abuja, and I must tell you that those edifices are beautiful palaces. You see Kogi State House in Abuja, you see Akwa Ibom State House in Abuja, and those places are just being manned by maybe the representative of the state. The buildings are literally empty. Look at this kind of lifestyle. Now, if you say we should cut down the cost of governance, where should the focus be?
When I'm talking of cutting down the cost of governance, I think we start with kind of the luxury life they live. If you know, if you have to go now see what's budgeted for as work for feeding alone, do you understand? For even if you know the cost for feeding dogs, do you understand? I think it's not in thousands. You understand?
The supply of newspaper. Huge cost.
No, supply of paper. But I'm talking.
I even said that because that's your.
Yes, that's what supply of newspaper. They have to get information. It's a working. No, I'm coming. It's a working tool for them. Because I think they will tell you most of the brilliant leaders we have are those ones that wake up in the morning and read. So you are not expecting your PA to just give you some cuttings and tell you some whatever. They will tell you what they wanted you to hear. But for you to have the direct feelings of how
you should read yourself.
You should read yourself. Go take the papers and you know you have the comments, you have the opinion of people. So it's kind of a feedback. Because if you are ruling, Tashwari once said that if you live in that work for 3-4 months, you don't know that anybody is suffering anywhere in Nigeria, right? Because of the environment there. But by reading papers, you understand, you are likely to now begin to have the direct
idea of what's happening outside.
What's happening. So it's good to read papers. But I'm saying that if you look at money budgeted, to take care of beds. Do you understand? I'm talking of all this Canary and Co. in the Aso Rock, the budget for dogs, right? The budget for all kind of things, we marveled. Even the Aso Rock clinic, how much was sent to spend on Aso Rock clinic alone for how many people? Then we will now imagine if such money could be sent on our tertiary hospitals, like teaching hospitals, loot. Do you understand? Those areas will consider center of violence for this and that. Do you understand? The most spent on Aso Rock alone. So that's what point we are making. Apart from that, all these MDAs, all these ministries, the number of people who go get in certain ministries, right? Ask what they are doing. Let them do a kind of do auditing. You understand? Of job performances and job description. In those, we have some people. Some people will write a note, another person will take record it, and that person will carry the file. What can be done on computers? I'm going to tell you the truth. There was an institution I went to. I don't want to mention it, right? they in the PR department, the federal institution, federal university for that matter, the publication unit of that institution, I saw about 10-15 people in one office, and I've never seen them doing any work. And I asked, what is this madam doing? Said she was employed since when they were using cutting stencils. Right, so she was expert, in using electric typewriter. Do you understand? And there's one but once they face that one now, she hasn't been doing anything. Then another one also was a stenographer. Do you understand? I think another one was the one we are still using. I think after cutting the stencils, there's something they used to roll papers. That's printing in those olden days. That's all those people. When they don't have job again to do in this modern system, they were not retrained. But they were still there collecting money and having promotion every 3-4 years, as the case may be. Right? There are some people that they say before now, when they take pictures in the studio, they have to watch the film
and develop it.
They are using Kodak and film. You understand? So, and this guy will be in that room at least to develop the film and print it. Do you understand? But they are still keeping these people.
That's why the father nobody uses that again.
But those people were never retrained, at least to fit it into the modern system. That's why that's why in the ministry you have a lot of people working without table, without chair, right? Just going there, talk, and they are receiving salaries. Do you understand? They are receiving promotion. You have to look at all those ones. 1, 2, all these MDAs. I'm coming. But if you know the number of MDAs we have, about 150 something, do you understand? And the people working these MDAs, then you begin to wonder what kind of job are they doing. Do you understand? If we have some research institutes that was a day I was in Ibadan. I saw I think something on horticulture. Do you understand? And they are researching to the flowers. Do you understand? And this is a big building, a big complex. I think for people researching on flowers. And I told them that well, let me see your findings in the last I think 3-4 years. So your discoveries. Again, the GM was the director was just rambling. You could not know. I think I'm seeing this institution for the first time, right? What have you been able to discover in the last 3 years?
Nothing.
So I think you have researchers here. Do you understand? So they are those costs. So these are quite these costs of governance. Do you understand? We have many institutions that are redundant. Do you understand? And because of the redundancy, some chief executives are using those redundant institutions as conduit pipe. To many institutions you don't know, you are not aware of at all. Exist at the federal level. I'm telling you the truth. So, but what I'm saying is that let them audit all these areas. I'm not saying they should sack anybody, but let them retrain or redirect energies to where those energies are needed. Do you understand? If you are earning money from the federal pool, certainly you must work for it, unless you are taking sweat from the sweat of some people. In a company like this, I don't see how you can retain anywhere in this company for 2-3 months without anything to do. It's not it cannot happen. But in government, you have many people doing nothing, and that's why you see overhead of most of these parastatals of the federal government too high than capital expenditure, and that must be looked into. So if you look at our budget, what's our recurrent expenditure? How many workers? Do you understand? Compare to I think to the whole population. Do you understand? And what you are not benefited from is capital expenditure most times, right? Most times. So, but if you see the number of people taking a chunk of country resources, we are not saying good if they are providing services. I think for that, but they have to look into it. The luxury lifestyle, the overseas trip, the medical tourism. Why can't we make improve our health institution here? It's a shame. It's a shame for a president of a country going to another country to be treated for toothache. It's a shame for a president. It's like you in your house now, say for you to eat a good food, you have to go to your neighbor's house and for his wife to give you food.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shame. So, but what are those things that making them to travel abroad, taking our dollars on Nesta code for nothing? They have to look into all those things. If Tinubu did not do all those things and asking Nigerians to tighten belts, whether some people are feeling fat on government, then it's unfair to us, it's unfair to Nigerians, and I think at his age, he should fear God.
Very interesting. The calls are coming in their number, so I think let's just open it up a little bit. 0913-600-0410. We're just looking at the state of the nation, and like I said, we're streaming these programs live on all our social media platforms: facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM, and on YouTube mainland 983 FM as well. You can follow us and drop your comments, and then we'll read it out, and then we continue the show. Well, 0913-600-0410. I've been speaking with Mr. Muyiwa. Adeyemi is the head and the chief editor, political desk of Guardian newspaper. We've looked at quite a lot of things. We've looked at the appointment of the service chiefs, the appointment of the Inspector General of Police, and we decided to focus more again on the issue of cutting down the cost of governance. If Mr. President says we should make sacrifices to fix this nation, should it be leadership by example? If you want to be a public servant, then you should be able to lead from the front. And I remember very well Mr. President in his speech saying nobody should pity him, that he begged for this job and he's ready to do it. So if you say Nigerians should make sacrifices so that we can have a better country, then the sacrifices, the request should be across board. Politicians living above board, living at the mercy of the people should be checked. That's exactly what my guests have said on the show today. So you can join the conversation, and you can also send your messages to the number 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is
Thank you for joining us on the show today.
I greet our guest as well. My name is Gija Omotaswan. I'm calling from Ikeja.
You're welcome.
Yes, in Yoruba proverb that says, "In Latin case already." If our leaders want us to do sacrifice, they as well, they should lead by example. They should show us how. And it is high time, like I always say, to hold our chairman, local government, and our governors accountable this time around. They need to do a lot of sacrifice. We need to see they are the ones that are closer to us. The federal are very far from us. Let's hold our governors accountable. The dividend of democracy will show them. If you want to start from the top, if you want to always accuse the federal, it will work that way. It will never work that way. Our guest this evening has made a valid submission. There are some establishments that need to be cancelled for a very long time. But if government has even cancelled it, some Nigerians will still complain that this government are taking jobs away from them. Some are not doing anything. They have any money. They are not. Some don't even go to work. They might go maybe 3 times in a month, but the salary is just coming in. And the director of that establishment are making us dry. So maybe we should look for a way to block those loopholes. And as for the service chief, they can't do it alone. They will appoint people. The IG will appoint commissioner in Lagos State. How does the commissioner in Lagos does his job? It's another thing. So we need support. Everybody needs to contribute this quota.
Thank you.
So God bless this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, people. We have started talking against Buhari because he has left office. But some of us that were doing that were called the enemies of APC and Buhari government, right from satellite town. Okay, thank you very much. Diane from Fagba says, there's a saying that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people mourn. 3 weeks into power, more than 300 people have been reportedly killed in different parts of the country. A careless statement of subsidy, it's put the nation into turmoil. And also the student loan that look at the terms and conditions, they are too stringent, and now increase in PHCN tariff look like taskmaster stems. I don't understand why some people give excuse to give time for incompetent and corrupt rulers to settle down. If you apply for a job, are you not supposed to prepare for the task ahead? But they force themselves on the people through conspiracy, and when they enter power, they start giving schoolboy excuses. Okay, thank you very much, Dio from Fagba. Hello, good evening.
Hello. Good evening, sir. This is Ike calling from Lekki.
You're welcome, Ike.
Yeah, you see, there is no way people will be calling and say, let's hold our leaders accountable. You cannot hold them accountable because they know how to manipulate their way to that position. A situation whereby a presidential candidate will use song to rig an election, or before we start holding our leaders accountable, except we start electronic voting, where people can vote either in and out. That is the only way you can hold the leaders accountable. But with this system of democracy we are running, here you can use political talk to rig an election and do whatever you like. People are sure you don't even care for the people because you know how you get there. You do whatever pleases you, not what pleases the people. Until we start electronic voting, now it's when Nigeria democracy with the leader will be accountable to the citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to appeal to you to please keep your contribution as quick, as brief as it can, so that we can pick, more calls on the show. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Malam Idris. I'm calling from Cape.
You're welcome, Malam Idris.
See, this country, no matter how you do for some people, you cannot satisfy them. So we hope God make you as one people, make you help us for this country. And those our family where they cannot. Please, help me beg the government. No look anybody face. Don't look anybody face. Make you don't look anybody face. No matter how this person be to do wrong thing. Make the government do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On Facebook, facebook.com/Mainland98.3 FM, we're streaming live, and you can watch us and also drop your comment. Abi Agom John Jr. says, I'm listening keenly, but sincerely, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will do well. I know he's going to be a better president than Buhari. He went to school, that we know, only that we don't know the year he went to school. He's a political masterminder and somehow a Democrat. He will please you to remain in office while Buhari will muzzle his way. From the sharing of some appointment and even party affairs, you can see his influence making sure that equitable distribution of power and offices along religions and region. I'm highly anti-APC, but Tinubu is not going to be worse than Buhari. Let's give him all the support we can. God bless the president of Nigeria. God bless Lagos and Plateau. God bless Nigeria. I love your show from the city of Jos. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Prof.
Thank you for joining us today.
See, who are they deceiving?
Your name and where you're calling from?
Onofe, I'm from myself.
You're welcome.
Who are they deceiving? Who are they representing? You believe you are representing us and you cannot fight for us. Get there fighting for yourself, fighting for your salary. Are you getting me now? They can't deceive us. That is why they are using Agbero, using talks. Everybody are crying now. They should just face it. Concerning the security, thanks for the changes of this security and the police ID and this thing. The only thing they can do, they should withdraw all those uniform personnel back to the barracks. They should use drones. They are talking about technology. This is not war now. We are not fighting war. If you are fighting war now, you will use man to man. They should go and invite those the community security, use them, empower them, give them money, give them equipment. When they are coming, you face them, use drones to monitor them. Where is the security, the CCT in Abuja? Who spoiled them? The CCTV in Abuja. Where are they now? See, we know each other in this country. They should not deceive us. They should not at all.
Thank you very much. Well, on the issue of the CCTV, it's a big one because I remember very well that project and how much it cost the government. This one says, excuse me, my name is Femi from Bagada. And your guest spoke so well today. I hope that the government understand the weight of expectations on them. They cannot afford to fail Nigeria. The immediate past president took us 1,000 years behind, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should take us a step further, and hopefully the next government will take off from there. Thank you very much, Femi from Bagada. Uche from Ikorodu says your guest has spoken well. I just have my fear. Tinubu's appointment is beginning to look one-sided. We heard that there's a new Inspector General of Police and is a former commissioner of police in Lagos. Okay, that's a rumor and it has been denied even by the person involved. Thank you very much, Ike. Hello, good evening, Prince YS.
A very good evening to you, Opeyemi.
Welcome on the show today.
And I think your guess you. But you know, Yoruba say uniquely similar. The appointment of Mr. President pertaining to the chief security chief appreciating, especially the statement of the police IG. He talks very well, he spoke very well. He talks about the local police, all those things. And they want to be lion-hearted somebody. He said that lion him, I want you to default to the terrorists in the country. So for me, all of them they started. Even though when you talk about this testimony we are talking about today, yeah, it's pain. But very soon, if you don't take this away from NFPC, give that thing to anybody, it will come down. Look at this now, it's coming down. Look at that, it's coming down. So I know. We are very hope all of us who must sacrifice. Who must sacrifice to save this country. And I'm appealing to those who be appointed, they appoint now. We give them time night. If you're going to perform between 6 or 8 to 6 months, let Mr. Fair release them on their post. We need somebody who want to fight, want to change those mortar terrorists in the country. Look at what is going on the Plateau. Opeyemi, thank you for bringing this your program every day.
Thank you very much. Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the core session on the show today. But I'm always excited about Fridays because it's an open mic day, no guest, no topic, and you have the opportunity to join the conversation. Now, Mr. Muyiwa, let me ask you. People have said we should give them more time. In a minute or two, how much time do you think the new leadership that we have in this country have at the moment?
You know, I think until somebody said the message is read now that Buhari at least drew us back.
Took us 1,000 years back.
Well, I don't know the number of years, but I think Buhari took us back to some years, I think. So that's why Tinubu should know that there is no time for him, at least to waste. Right, and that's why it's good that he started it in the ground running, and he has been making some statements about the policy trust of his administration, and everybody begin to know where he's looking at. But this on security, as I said initially, you know, if you give people assignments, you don't apportion the time frame target for them. I think it becomes they become like a basic about it and will not get results. So he should be making, and they're not just giving them this target. You should have a meeting with them, let them tell him, well, you are in the system, you are not new in the system, you know that things are bad security wise. How many months, how many years will it take you at least to solve this problem? Let me have your agenda. So by the time they were able to give him the time frame that the next 1 year, this is what they want to achieve, then we also Nigeria will be able to hold them accountable for that. But they must know that I think Nigerians are not ready and just to behaving as if nothing is happening. Things are getting bad and want to know how soon they will work. And we have to do that. We just have to do that. Let them tell us their immediate plan. Let them tell us their middle, what they're going to achieve in the next 6 months, next 1 year, security-wise. So it's not wrong in that. If you've told Nigerians that in the next 1 year, I think we will hear so. We want to hold you accountable for it. So we also will be able to work. They don't have told Nigerians that in the next 6 months, this one will happen. Next 6 months, this one will happen. That's fine. So you work, you sleep, wake up every day to review your strategy to achieve that objective. But where you don't have time lag for anything you are doing, so that means you can wake up 11 a.m. and say I'm going to office.
To the office. Okay, thank you very, very much. Well, in case you don't understand, maybe you need to pick your book and read about the MDAs that we have in this country. There's so much people doing the same thing and sometimes doing nothing. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Muyiwa, for joining us on the show today. God willing, God's prayer in our lives. Next week, Thursday, you're also going to be back. Well, this is the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM. This program comes up on air with every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5 p.m. Politics, policies, governance, leadership, everything you need to know about government. That's what we discuss here. Well, God willing, tomorrow is Friday. It's open mic day. No guest, no topic. We just allow you to join the conversations that you've not been able to join in the outgoing week. My name is Opeyemi Akinyode. Keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM. On the hour of 5, the news in beat would come in. By 5:30, the full bulletin would come. And by 6, I'll be back for Sport Cruise, myself and the Sport Desk. Stay out of trouble and bye for now.